That's scared is not a city that's safe. A land ruled by fear is not the land of the free. Last week, Boston received a letter from the Attorney General of the United States on official letterhead from the federal government threatening to prosecute city officials and withhold federal funds unless we cooperate with carrying out mass deportations. At a time when this federal administration is already causing so much fear and harm in our communities, these threats are serious and consequential. But our same communities have told me loud and clear that silence in the face of oppression is not an option. The U.S. Attorney General asked for a response by today. So here it is. Here is our response. Stop attacking our cities to hide your administration's failures. Unlike the Trump administration, Boston follows the law. And Boston will not back down from who we are and what we stand for. We will not back away from our community that has made us the safest major city in the country and a leading example of why cities around the country make this country safer, healthier, and more prosperous for all Americans. To all the federal officials attacking communities that embody diversity, creativity, and moral clarity, we mayors said this in D.C. nearly 6 months ago, and I'll say it again today. You are wrong on the law, and you are wrong on safety. Most of all, you are wrong on cities. The cities that live in your minds are totally foreign to the residents living in our cities. And we are picking up the pieces of your failures to deliver on your promises. Under the Trump administration, groceries are less affordable. Housing is harder to build. Cures for cancer are farther away. And good news on our economy has been as hard to find as the Epstein list.
Did you watch Boston Mayor Michelle Wu testify on Wednesday before the U.S. House Oversight Committee? If congressional Republicans were looking for a gotcha moment, she didn't seem to offer them an obvious one. The mayor seemed to walk away unscathed and even landed a few hits of her own after a highly partisan hearing that lasted 6 hours on Capitol Hill on Wednesday.
A city that's scared is not a city that's safe. A land ruled by fear is not the land of the free.
Mayor Wu pointed to Boston's strong public safety numbers as evidence that the city's immigration policies are working and keeping communities here safe. Boston recorded a record low 24 homicides last year, which makes it one of the safest big cities in the country. These hearings are often about sound bites, and Mayor Wu left with a handful of her own.
If you wanted to make us safe, pass gun reforms. Stop cutting Medicaid. Stop cutting cancer research. Stop cutting funds for veterans. That is what will make our city safe.
This was a good day for Michelle Wu, appearing before Congress for the first time. It remains to be seen what happens next. A Florida congresswoman said she plans to refer all 4 Democratic mayors to the Department of Justice for potential criminal investigation for the way that their cities handle ICE enforcement and collaboration with the federal government. The experts I've talked to said that the threat is more political than legal. Republicans in Washington have threatened to withhold federal funding from cities that they label sanctuary cities, so it remains to be seen whether they bear that threat out.
In a nation divided by politics and power, one city stands firm against fear. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu faces a direct threat from Washington, operate with massive deportation, offers, prosecution, and loss of federal funds. But her response shocked the nation.
No one tells Boston how to take care of our own. Not kings and not presidents who think they are kings. Boston was born facing down bullies. We stand with immigrants. You belong here. Somos una ciudad de inmigrantes. Boston doesn't back down. We are a city where the Irish coffee is strong and our opinions are stronger. We may not always agree or see eye to eye, but at the end of the day, we are a family. If you come for one of us, you will get all of us. My advice to Tom Homan and ICE is to take a time out. Reassess what you are doing and how you are doing it. A little friendly advice from the safest major city in the country. We know how to keep people safe. The American people are not stupid. No one is buying the line that these secret police tactics are making communities safer. The coordinated attacks that we are seeing on our constitutional freedoms, on due process, on research, science, education, and institutions around the country, but especially based here in Boston, are designed to destroy our sense of trust and connection. We are taking every possible action here in our city to push back and to stand up for basic rights, for our freedoms, and for the opportunities that we have been building here as a city whose mission every day is to be a home for everyone. We're leading a coalition of cities from all around the country in a brief challenging billions in illegal cuts to federal funding that would end life-saving medical research on everything from cancer and diabetes to Alzheimer's. And we've been pushing back on the important federal grant dollars that have been threatened to be rescinded or terminated. The City of Boston will regularly submit Federal Freedom of Information Act, or FOIA, requests to the Department of Homeland Security regarding federal immigration enforcement activity to find out who they are detaining and arresting and on what grounds. Boston is the safest major city in the country because we are a city that's safe for everyone. That safety and hard-earned trust is being jeopardized by the Trump administration's actions. And in Boston, we will stand strong for our community members and our residents. The least that can be done is to make sure that we are receiving information after arrests of who has been taken and why and where. Chairman Comer, Ranking Member Connolly, and members of the committee, my name is Michelle Wu. I am the daughter of immigrants, and since November of 2021, I have had the honor of serving as mayor of Boston. I'm proud to be here on behalf of our city, the police officers, first responders, city workers, the faith leaders, teachers, parents, and neighbors who partner every day to make Boston the safest major city in the nation. And I'm proud every day to work alongside the greatest police commissioner in the nation, Commissioner Michael Cox. Every year since I took office, we've set a new record low for gun violence in Boston. Last year, Boston saw the fewest homicides on record in the last 70 years. Those are the facts. And behind these record lows are historic highs. The most ever young people working paid summer jobs, the most pre-K seats at no cost to families, the most affordable housing built in a generation. We have invested in the kinds of opportunities that cultivate prosperity and eradicate crime. And the laws on our books promote the kind of community trust that keeps all of us safe. In Boston, our police department resources and taxpayer dollars go towards preventing and solving crimes. And when it comes to criminal matters, the Boston Police partner every day with state and federal law enforcement. But Massachusetts state law and the Boston Trust Act make clear that immigration is federal law enforcement's responsibility. We are the safest major city in the country because our gun laws are the strongest in the nation, because our officers have built relationships over decades, and because all of our residents can trust that when they call 911 in the event of an emergency or to report a crime, help will come. This federal administration's approach is undermining that trust. In the past month, I've met with residents and faith leaders in community centers and places of worship, asking my constituents what they want Congress to know. And what I heard over and over again was fear and frustration. I spoke with pastors whose pews are half empty on Sundays, doctors whose patients are missing appointments, teachers whose students aren't coming to class, neighbors afraid to report crimes in their communities, and victims of violence who won't call the police. This federal administration is making hardworking, tax-paying, God-fearing residents afraid to live their lives. A city that's scared is not a city that's safe. A land ruled by fear is not the land of the free. Next month, Boston will celebrate 250 years of our nation's freedom. And in every one of those years, Boston has welcomed the world to our shores. From the English immigrants fleeing religious persecution, to the Irish forced out by famine, to the families from Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Cabo Verde, Vietnam, and so many more who call Boston home today. We are the safest major city in the nation. We are home to the greatest healthcare, the greatest colleges and universities, the most advanced innovators, and the 2024 world champion Boston Celtics. We are the cradle of democracy and the city of champions. We are all of these things not in spite of our immigrants, but because of them. 1 in 7 signers of the Declaration of Independence were immigrants. On the last 4 Red Sox rosters to win a World Series, 1 in 5 were immigrants. Of all the faculty at Boston University to have earned a Nobel Prize, all but 1 were immigrants. Today, 1 in 4 Boston residents were born somewhere else. Most have jobs, many have kids. All of them chose this country as their home because, like my mom and dad, they believe that here, where you've been doesn't limit where you're going. The strength of your character has nothing to do with the color of your passport. And how hard you work matters more than where you were born. That wherever you're from, if you pitch in, look out for your neighbors, and cheer for the home team, you can build a better future here for the people you love. So to every one of my neighbors back in Boston, know this. You belong here. This is your home. Boston es tu hogar. Boston, c'est la caillou. 这是你的家. This is our city. We are the safest major city in the nation because we are safe for everyone. Thank you.
This is a story of courage, leadership, and finance in the heart of Boston. When Trump administration announced its plan to prosecute city officials refusing to aid their deportation efforts, many local government estated, but Boston Mayor Michelle Will made a stand crystal clear. We will not turn our city into a tool of fear. Boston will remain a sanctuary for those who seek hope. Her statements ignited both praises and criticism across this country. Supporters call it a stand for human rights, a movement that echoed Boston's long legacy for freedom and inclusion. Critics, however, accused Wu of defying federal authority and putting the city at risk of losing millions of funding. Despite the tension, Wu doubled down, reaffirming that Boston's value of compassion and community were not for sale. She reminded the public that local government should focus on protecting residents, not enforcing federal deportation mandates. Across Boston, rally broke out in solidarity. Churches, universities, and community leaders stood soldier to soldier, with City Hall declining. No one should live in fear because of where they are born. But the question remains, how far can local leaders go in restricting federal power before it becomes a legal and political standoff is defying the new forms of authoritarianism or a dangerous precedent in the balance of state and federal law. In the end, Major Michelle Wolf's message resonated beyond Bristol. It became a national statement that leadership means standing for people even when the cost is high. And while Washington continued to debate, Boston's spirit remained unbroken, a city choosing unity over division and courage over complaint. Credit to the stitches and creator who helped shape this powerful story. Now, we want to hear from you. Was Major Michelle Wolf right to resist the Trump arbitration deportation order? Drop your thoughts in the comment below. Share this video and don't forget to subscribe, like and hit the notification bell for more deep story and real reaction.